What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So you already know, man, last night was obviously a big game. It was do or die for the Clippers. Every game obviously is do or die for them. You know, before the game, I dropped a video on what their solutions and the things they should be doing in order to actually win game by game, right? I said it's possible to force a game 7. When you're the team that's the lower seeded team, it's actually more favorable for you to actually force a game 7 than the other team, because what happens is the home team normally has all the pressure on them, especially for game 5, right? Normally game 5, if you're the home team, especially if you're down 3-1, is on your home court, right? And sometimes the pressure is on you and stuff like that. So, when the pressure is on the team that's closing it out, that's at home, you have nothing to lose. So a lot of times you've seen, just like the Cavs in 2016, they can now play their heart out, play, and move with IQ. They're not thinking, there's no pressure, nothing like that. So obviously there's pressure, but there's no pressure, you know what I'm saying? So, or not the same amount of pressure that it would be if, you had to win on your home floor. So now they won that, and now you go to home for game 6, where now you could feed off the crowd and it's more favorable for you to win that, and now you could force a game 7. So obviously you don't go too far to a game 7, but you take it one game at a time. But the changes that I said, especially, we didn't know that Zubac was going to be out, but I was saying that they should go small ball and not really go to a Zubac type of lineup, because the team, it's been shown now that the team has played, with just elite IQ when they play small ball. Not only that, the thing is, I was saying in the previous video before this for the Clippers, is that you have to pick the lesser of two evils, right? The lesser of two evils meaning that, do we have Zubac in and do this drop coverage where now they score in the drop, and even if they don't score in the drop, they have a guaranteed alley almost every time. And then now the corner guy has to help, and then you dime to the corner. And that's how they've been playing. High up tempo offense, high octane offense, you know what I mean? And just shooters are shooting. That's the way they're now. The Suns at least is playing on a higher octane and just a more fluid and more just, up tempo, more ball movement. When they do that high PNR, everything is dictated off of that. But the way to cancel that is if you go small ball, and either one, you switch everything, or you have mobility on your drop coverage where you gap, go back, whatever. If you cancel the screen and roll and force them to either give it to Ayton for post ups, yes, he might kill at times in the post up, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you pick the lesser of two evils. That's more so lesser, because 1, it stops the ball movement. 2, are you going to live off Ayton getting 30 off post-ups? He hasn't had to post up every play like that anyway. So you want to pick poison and do the lesser of two evils. That one is it's hit or miss, right? If you can go other situation, they're getting 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Or you go to this other situation where they might get 3 out of 10. They might get 5 out of 10. They still might. You're not going to stop everything. It's picking the lesser of two evils. And that's why I said that's why they're small ball. It makes sense to go to that. You were scared and fearful of it originally because Ayton is not no Gobert. But now as the series plays on, you realize that, okay, you know what? Ayton don't even just be posting up breaking chest like that. We'll go to that. If they want to do their offense like that and have him have 40 off post-ups, we live with that. And at the end of the day, what is it? It's twos. It's twos. When you're scoring threes and you're high octane, the twos don't necessarily beat you in the long run, right? Obviously, individual, every play, it's kind of like, oh my God, they scoring. But you have to play the long game. You don't overreact. You have to pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? This is how coaches move. So, this is just IQ. So this is what they did. And obviously the small ball lineup, they didn't just play small ball though. They actually used mobility. They guarded things differently depending on if it was Booker, depending on if it was, Chris Paul running the pick and roll. They guarded it differently. So I'm going to show you and highlight, obviously, as we go into the context. But, you know what I mean? This was a great game. PG woke up, stepped into that bag, and I said, offensively, what is it going to be for the Clippers? You're going to have to kill one-on-one. Marcus Morris started it off killing one-on-one in that mellow bag, in the mid-post bag. And then what happened? Now Booker I'm now PG now, before he just run into the paint. But I said, you can't just run into the paint. At some point, they're going to clog that, and they move properly when you run into the paint on the driving kick. You have to kill off ability, that now they have to extra help off of your ability that now creates open shots for the other guys, right? Because of the way you're killing and they're so fearful of you. So that's what you have to do. Mid-range buckets, pull in the gaps, all of that type of stuff. And that's when PG started finally doing in the third, and he woke up and he said, I'm here though. I'm here though. I'm tight like my hair though. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to fry. And that's what he did. So let's go into the context. You know why? Because I give you that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. My goodness, PG just frying off of ability. Instead of just running into the paint like he was. You see, Reggie, swing one more. You got to kill off ability. Are you killing me? My goodness. Boom. PG-13. We see your scene. Zone. So he's telling them run the zone. You know what I mean? But sometimes they be thinking it's zone and it's not zone. Look right here. See? They're obviously running the zone right now. They're in the zone. And then look right here. If it's still the zone, PG would stay on this side as Booker is cutting, right? And then obviously Morris would shift up and PG would stay down, but no one's picking up. You see PG pointing? Nobody. So he gets out his zone and just plays man. So it's basically man help in this situation. You can see right there. My goodness, I felt the situation. He missed it. Booker. You gotta cook her, man. What are we? Hey, oh my God, Pat Bev with the ugly lay. Looking like that, Bev. Hey. And then obviously offensive foul, and you can see, you know, and Booker hit his nose. But great defense, intensity by the Clippers, IQ. You know, they're not brain farting. They're paying attention to detail. They're using IQ, playing with physicality as well too. And right here, they're in the zone. You can see, and then right here they switch, and then it's kind of like a man zone, matchup zone, basically, right? You see Batum followed his man all the way across. So you know they're in the man zone, and you see right here, Pat Bev goes over the screen. See. And right there, they kind of got the alley, but that's once in a blue moon. The reason it's once in a blue moon, I'm gonna show y'all as we keep going. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, off down screens, PG-13. What are we doing here? Kill, and then one more, and they're forcing mano-a-mano. But who? We get a bucket. My boom, cash out like it's the lotto, bruh. Morris and PG were just frying. My goodness. And right here, you see Pat Bev goes over the screen, and you can see he stunts for a minute Morris, you know, with actually mobility, and then Pat Bev gets back, and then you cancel the whole PNR. Once you cancel the whole PNR, now the back end of the shot clock, you know what I'm saying? You're forcing Ayton to actually post up, and you live and die by that. Post up and have to shoot, have to create. See? Bruh. And either Ayton has to create one-on-one off the post, and you live with that. Like I said, pick the lesser of two evils, or the role players have to, my goodness, create. He told Bridges, you're late. My God, don't hate. This, bruh, get off me. I'm about to drop him, man. The chicken wing brush, excuse me, Colgate. Oh my God, CP knee buckled. Bruh, come on now. And then look, mano-a-mano, the two guys have been getting buckets. My goodness, that's that Melo bag, boy. That's what Melo had, boy. Come on now. And then look right here. You see how they play the defense? Right now, they're not in the zone, but they're in hella help. And you see Pat Bev fights over the screen. More stunts for a little bit, mobility, and then he gets back in time, Pat Bev, with mobility. And then you force role players to create at the back end of the shot clock. You see what happens? But then when Booker gets it, they run back a zone. You see how they're doing? With Chris Paul fight over the screen, cancel the PNR. When Booker gets it, we run the zone because he's been frying. You know what I'm saying? And look at Pat Bev right in the zone. PG's got to guard two in Bridges and Chris Paul. And then right there, that's what they're running. Now they're in the fully zone. And you can see he blows by Reggie, but everybody helps. You know what I'm saying? And now they're in the zone. And this is the attention to detail that they're applying right now. You can see it's a foul. But at the end of the day, they're paying attention. They're applying detail, and they're using IQ, you get what I'm saying? And look at Morris and PG. Morris started it by frying early, and then basically both of them, 9 for 13, same ways, and then PG now is getting back to that ability, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you're seeing right now. When they force you to one-on-one, you're going to have to kill. With Zubats out, they went small ball. They went small ball and basically started frying, and I told y'all their best lineup is the small ball. They just use more IQ. They just play more on the string. Look at that. My goodness, and my shots sing. Look at that. My goodness, boy, bruh. PG killing an ability now. It's different when you kill an ability. What are we doing right here? See? Crowder gonna blow by. You know why? You shouldn't overhelp off this, man. This Crowder. Why is PG overhelping? Trying to cancel Ayton. I get it, but there's nothing there. That's no IQ. That's not IQ. And that's not IQ at all, leaving Cam Johnson wide open. Crowder, if he kills off a drive, he kills off a drive. What are we doing right here? And then, my goodness, man. You see what happens when you're a shot creator and you have ability and you're about to pull up and you're killing with ability? You Greg Man's more open, way more open than a playmaker would get them. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. See, they're so fearful of your ability. That's why the shot creators at the end of the day, when you kill with shot creating bag and you kill with ability, you get mans even more open as role players because they're so fearful. They have to attach to you as a double team from so far out. And then what are we doing, man? That's what I'm saying. See, he ain't trying to get post. See, bruh. And he has to kill. He has to kill up. Can you live and die by that? Aiden getting 30 off post-ups one-on-one. It's better than the alleys. You pick and choose. It's the lesser of two evils. What are we doing? My God, man. Boom. That boy tough, boy. PG-13. We see your scene. What are we talking about, man? And right here, see? Trying to set the screen. See? Over. See? You see how Batum is on the hip, on the shield, on the drop coverage? Bro, PG. Come on now, man. But you see how they're playing it. And then obviously they call foul and Booker been getting destroyed. But you see how they're tight on the drop coverage. They're tight on the hip. They're tight on the hip so they don't have open takes that they would normally see. Look, he's tight on the hip. See? And they're tight. Even though it looks like an open shot, it's way more difficult than you're not even attached and it's wide open. They're playing more physical defense. See right here? He goes over the screen and then Cousins come and he randomly doubles now. See now, and he threw him off, so he has to do a jump pass. Batum rotates from the corner and comes to Aiden on the drop. Look at that. Beautiful defense. Beautiful defense. And they're on a string. That's what I'm saying. On a string. No matter what happens, there's ways to cancel, what they're doing. By playing on a string and playing with IQ, that's what I do. Look at this. My goodness, Cousins playing with IQ as well too, bruh. And this is what I'm talking about, man. You see what happens? The shot creator's a killer. They have to double Cousins because he's killing. And then you get man's way open. Then a playmaker who's not going to be a threat trying to just pass for no reason. And man's have to create. Pay attention. See, he fights through the screen. He fights through the screen on Booker. And you see how his arms is kind of attached to Booker. He's right on his hip and he's there. That's why Booker won't just pull in the gap. See, then he gets back to him and you cancel the whole PNR. Once you cancel the PNR, they're forced to have to pass to a shot creator or aim in the post on the back end of the clock with 10 seconds left. See, and then you get an offensive foul. And that's what they've been doing. You're playing attached defense, physicality defense, IQ defense, canceling the PNR. Once you cancel that, you force one-on-one. And that's why they have only 78 points. And whatever. My goodness, bruh. Bruh. PG-13. We see your scene. You don't just run into the paint and score. You don't just run into the paint and score. You kill off of ability. And that's what makes the whole game different when you do that. You see right here, T-Man and playing the pick and roll. See, Cousins is in the drop. He's in the drop. See, he goes under, but he's there. He's right there, and he sees that he's stuck on the screen. So what does Cousins do? He has to play up and has to guard him one-on-one and force him to do an escape a contested shot, which is a great shot, but it's more contested. It's not just open. And you see how they're playing it different. They didn't just, I'm staying in the drop. My fault. He read and react that man was stuck on the screen, so I got to pick up. And then what happens? You go to the post. My God, that's a baby. That's Gerber. You better serve her. See, man's got a double. They got a double because, man, he's such a threat. Good pass. One more. Good fake pass. Good Hazzy. And look at his chain reaction. This is what happens when you have bucket getters galore on the bench, obviously, you get what I'm saying? And because he starts off the game with PG on the bench, you can get away with it because they have a cushion, so he can get more rest, get a couple rests, they're up 10, and then bring him back in if they sustain the lead, or if the lead is coming down, then you bring him back in quicker. But at least you can get guaranteed 2 minutes because you have a cushion. So that's what they're doing. And Cousins, you better push him. That boy's strong. That's T-Man. Getting buckets like he can. What are we talking about, man? This is what I told y'all. This is why the Clippers most likely would have to blow them out. They have to look right here. See, he goes over the screen. He got stuck, but Cousins should have went back on time. He didn't have to stay. And then, and he made him pay. And that's Chris Paul's IQ. That's what I do. See, that's where they made a mistake. And obviously, you're going to get a mistake here and there, but at the end of the day, see, right there, you see, he wanted a post, but he's too high. Reggie said, no, I'm not going to use it. And he used IQ and made him set the screen. And what are we doing here? Blow by, why? And one, he's a damn son. That's Cousins. You better trust him. My goodness, he played elite. What are y'all talking about, man? He played elite, but pick and roll coverage. What are we doing? Good defense. What are we doing? Good deny. That's a blow by. You know why? Cousins. That's terrible defense, Cousins and Reggie. But Cousins got to be there. But you can see anytime the scorer, that guy's looking at the score up and down, you already know I'm trying to fry right now. I'm about to bring us back real quick. And that's what they're doing. They're putting Cousins in pick and roll. That's the disadvantage. See? Put him in pick and roll. Now it's mono. They're forced to switch. And he said, I'm a kill. I got an itch. My goodness, that was a swish. You see this? And he's looking up at the score. You already know. He's like, I'm here, though. I'm here.